The next stop on our Quebec trip was Quebec City, so we took the train up from Montreal and we ended up staying at the Fairmont, which is a beautiful hotel. It is massive and it just has so much history in it, which is really cool. But our first full day there, we did just exploring around old Quebec City. We took in the beautiful views. You can see we just got very lucky with the weather. It was all blue skies the entire time. It was just very, very windy, but it was just really fun exploring the city, and especially because it has so much history, it was just a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun just exploring around, looking at the different architecture, and it really does feel like you are back in like a European town, which is really fun. You can tell the city did a really good job at trying to keep the original architecture and the historical architecture of the city, which I think is probably one of the main drawing points, because it feels like you're in a European town, but you're just still in Canada, which is a lot of fun. But yeah, this town is very cute. I love all the historical aspects in there. But I will say, I think we ended up staying 3 days in here, and I think you could easily make this a day trip from Montreal or do it over like one night at staying at a hotel. We did eventually run out of things to do, and one of our complaints is that it's like very touristy. Obviously there were some touristy parts in old Montreal in particular, but there were other things that you could do outside of the touristy things, which I think took away from the charm of the city. There's just a lot of souvenir shops, ice cream shops, kind of like typical touristy things that you kind of see in a lot of European places, but it still had, the town did, despite being very touristy, had a nice charm to it. So for dinner we ended up walking along the river and going to the port, and while we were there we were able to see, we had literally the best dinner of the entire trip. It was delicious, and we had this beautiful view of the river too while we're enjoying our dinner, which we finished in like half an hour. We were so hungry. The next day we explored the Citadel, and I say it is worth going. You do get to kind of explore and see kind of the history and different aspects that were built throughout the centuries. It is a bit rushed being a guided tour. I wish they gave us more time in like certain like rooms. You only get like basically 60 seconds, but it was interesting learning about the history of the Citadel, and you get breathtaking views of the city and the river. It was just a lot of fun getting to kind of explore and see Quebec City from this viewpoint. And again, we got very, very lucky with the weather. It was just a little bit chilly and windy, but like perfect walking weather. And that evening we did a food tour, which was fantastic, and our tour guide did a really good job at talking about the history of the city. You can tell he was a very big history buff. And the next day you can tell that's when we kind of ran out of things to do, so we went outside of old Quebec and explored kind of where the locals went, where we found this very cute park that had flowers. We walked around there after we visited the art museum, but like I said, I think you can make this a day trip there. Once you kind of see everything, you've already seen it. We had a nice dinner to round out. We also went to a patisserie that we found, and we had finished out the trip with a nice dinner as well.